3, 2, 1, go, and we are live.
And apparently we are live. It's the instruction I'm getting from our dear Amir, who is back in controls. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you're getting this back at home. This is the 9th vvvv worldwide meetup, where we come together and show each other what we've been working on and have a little chat in a sort of informal presentation format. So please join us. We have posted links to this Zoom call on both the Element chat for vvvv in the chat room, as well as a blog post we have on the website for this event today as well. So please do feel free to join the conversation. If you want to show us what you're working on or something you've seen, just join us. There's no agenda or prerequisite. It's an open call for everyone. And if you just want to get a nicer image quality or just participate in the conversation, you're also very welcome to join us in the Zoom call and participate live. I'll be reminding you this a few times as we go along. If you just want to watch from home in a more sort of passive mode, you can just join us on YouTube. And please also send us your questions. We have questions coming in on the YouTube chat as well as on Element. And I hope I will do my best to keep track of them, and hopefully Amir and the rest of you will give me a hand very soon. Welcome, nice to have you. And today we have Max Seeger, who's gonna be showing us a bit of work he's been doing for a university project involving what I know very little about this, but involving apparently like a virtual terrarium or something. That sounds very cool. In theory, we will also be having Domj joining us sooner or later. He said he had some
just right now
to show. Great. We have Elias apparently joining us as well. I don't know what he's going to be showing, but looking forward to that. Welcome, Domj. Good to see you. And Christine, who will be joining us, but she can only join us after 9, which is in an hour. So hopefully we'll have enough content to fill the space and time until then. And then she can show us the project she wanted to share. And there's a pending here in my list that is the Fuse team, which may or may not honor us with their presence and hopefully an update. So looking forward to that. I guess that's it. Keep the questions coming. Join us on the Zoom call if you can. And yeah, I guess that's it. Anything from you guys on the opening statements?
Yeah, I also have a couple of things to say, so I think I'll help you fill the time.
I think I announced you before you came in. That's why.
All right.
Yeah, looking forward to that as well. So I guess since the two people we have here and now are Domj and Max, let's start with those two. Maybe, I don't know, Max, do you wanna show us what you got and walk us through it?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm Max. I'm currently studying communication design in Würzburg. And recently I did a semester project about organic growth, which is called Everything is Growing, Everything is Math. And how did I get there to take this topic? I was quite intrigued by patterns appearing throughout nature which look the same, but appear in different scales and different environments and different ecosystems. And as I soon found out, I'm not the first one asking this question. There are a lot of mathematicians, biologists who have already thought about this. And there are also quite a lot of algorithms which try to model this kind of natural behavior. And starting out in this project, I did some really early experiments in Houdini in this case, checking out some of these algorithms like differential growth, space colonization algorithm, or the Linden-Meyer system, which are all some kind of biology-inspired algorithms. But what I really wanted to do is bring some of these biosimulations to real time, so you can really tweak it in real time and experience it and see how simple numbers can really lead to something which looks so so natural to the human eye. So doing some research, I stumbled across a paper which used a reaction diffusion system to model coral growth. And what they did in this paper is using like a really basic Gray-Scott reaction diffusion model, but yeah, mapping what the 2D reaction diffusion system does over time and expanding it in the third dimension. So growing the coral from the spatial dimension of a 2D reaction diffusion system, which was quite cool, I thought. And yeah, after a lot of research and try and error, I finally achieved to replicate this in vvvv. What I did was like plotting a reaction diffusion system in 2D and then writing the texture of the reaction diffusion system in the third dimension of the compute shader, and yeah, and then rendering the volume via ray marching. And I think the corals, digital corals, which emerged, are quite beautiful and realistic in their shape. And yeah, there's an infinite amount of different corals you can achieve by changing like 5 parameters. And after I did this, I thought about how could I expand this technique to different biosimulations. Yeah, here are some corals to compare. Oh yeah, one more slide. And what I found especially important about this project is if you play around with these numbers, with these tweaking a biosimulation, you really, if you tweak the simulation, you come to the point where you ruin the whole growth, where you just make it collapse, where you make it expand, or just nothing is growing more at all because reaction diffusion system got way too unbalanced. And I think this is quite a good lesson we can learn, because at least numbers are really important in nature too. If you change like a really small number in an ecosystem, we can make, for example, just because everything's about corals until now, you can make corals bleach. And I wanted to let people experience this kind of lesson somehow. In the end, I chose to 3 different growth algorithms which are in this installation. Another one was a cellular automata. I did like exactly the same thing like with the reaction diffusion system. It's a 2D cellular automata from a paper from Fishgraven and Griffith, very much inspired by the works Asiliath has done on Twitter, if you've seen his works. Yeah, and this kind of algorithm can also be used to model the structure of termitariums, for example. Yeah, and on this slide you can really see like the infinite variety the algorithm can produce. And for the third one, I also implemented a differential line growth algorithm, which can be used to model, for example, organ growth, but also the growth of flowers, petals, leaves. And then I thought about how I want to make them somehow touchable or somehow experienceable in a really immersive way. And the idea was to set them up in a kind of digital terrarium, and that's what I built. It's quite simply 4 screens, which are like facing outwards in a cube, standing on a single pole. And there's some acrylic glass on top, and the edges are covered. And what I did was track the head with a Kinect camera in space, so that the virtual camera can shift with your head in space, so that it really gives you this 3D view. You can really walk around the models. You can see them look from top down or from bottom up. These were some early experiments. Yeah, here you can see some debug view. Yeah, and the camera really shifts around the whole terrarium when you go around it. I also built a small UI, which is on a smartphone, because I wanted to make all the parameters of the growth really open to the viewer, so one can really play around with all of them and really learn this lesson I mentioned earlier, and yeah, create this kind of natural models themselves. By the way, I used Elementor for this one, which was really useful. And that was the final thing. Here's some photos.
So all of this is in Gamma then? Am I right to understand this? No, this is beta.
Yeah, the rendering and all the shader stuff is done in beta, but the tracking and the UI is done in Gamma. Yeah.
Nice.
You can also take your hand and go like inside the terrarium to cut out a piece to see the inner structure better. And I think there's like one last film.
very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. If you have any further questions, you can ask them now or just reach out.
We have a few questions coming in. I mean, Berson and Domj, maybe you can just speak up if you want.
I didn't really like ask the question, but like we think that we're all kind of wondering, like you said you used Elementa for the phone UI. So there, like, what's the way to get Elementa running on a phone?
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was quite a, there was just a second screen via network, so there was no phone app or anything. But I mean, for like tweaking a simple UI, the frame rate is quite okay. I wouldn't do like game style stuff that way, but for like a single installation and tweaking a UI, that was quite good performance.
Hi, mate. What kind of tracking you use? Is it face recognition or something, or just?
Yeah, just standard Kinect.
Kinect. All right. I thought computer vision. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do it through computer vision.
Okay. I mean,
so you said you had like 4 sides to the digital terrarium, so you could go all around and still have it tracked. So you had the Kinect somewhere on the side, or you had 2 Kinects, or how did you like?
Yeah, I had one Kinect on a stand quite high in the edge of the room. And it was actually quite good. There was like one little angle, like some 3, 4, 5 degrees where the tracking wasn't that good. But I mean, it was a student project, and I could only like get one Kinect camera from the school. So if I could have used 2, it would have been just a little bit better.
And is it this look at perspective effect, or is it just literally chasing, like moving the camera where your head is? Because it's a bit different. It's this perspective thing.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, just done on 4 screens.
Cool. I had a few questions myself. I think I saw it in the video you posted at the end, but have you tried reaction diffusion in color? Because usually you do it in black and white, but if you do on RGB, you get this weird color intricate patterns, which might be interesting to grow different materials or different things in your meshes. I was just wondering if that was something you had tried.
I didn't really try it. I experimented with it, but it didn't really didn't really go deeper into it. But it's obviously a really great idea.
We have a question from Tebian. Was this for exams, PhD, or what kind of
that was like
course was it?
7th semester project for bachelor.
Okay, cool. Any questions from our people here?
Very well done, Max. Very, very interesting and really clean work. I have one request. If that is possible for you, it would be great to leave a link to your video somewhere in the YouTube chat or on the Zoom chat, that I will just put it in the YouTube chat as well, because the streaming was not very smooth, so it was a bit laggy. So if you have a link to Vimeo or wherever, that would be great.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, an obvious question that comes to mind is, have you 3D printed these things?
No.
That would be a nice
cool.
souvenir.
Wow, yeah, that would be really cool, especially if you could like tweak it yourself and then print it.
So looking forward for the next meetup, some nice coral shape prints. All right. Well, that was very nice. Thank you so much, Max. Lovely work. A quick reminder to everyone, you can join us on the Zoom call, please, if you want to show anything or just get better image quality, or ask questions and join the conversation. It's an open call to everyone, so please join us. Also, keep asking your questions on YouTube, Zoom, and Element, and we'll try to get to them. And by the way, Bersoon, I didn't ask you, do you want to show us anything today, maybe? No. You are muted, just in case.
Yeah, well, actually, I was working on something, but I think it's quite early stages. Maybe next one. I know I promised last time for your egg, but still, I'm skipping this.
Well, we'll keep tabs on you. You're not getting away with this very soon. All right, that's good. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. I guess now we can move on to Domjay and see what little adventure he's taking us on.
Sure. So, I mean, there's no huge project that I want to announce. Anything like super massive. There's one thing regarding Schema and one thing regarding some like experiments with web audio and web technologies that I was doing, which isn't exactly like vvvv, but I think it's very much linking to my past work, and I think it can kind of circle back maybe eventually. And also it's, I think, something to like for people to think about, like what are the possibilities with the ecosystem of tools nowadays. So first off, I wanted to say that I don't know, like maybe 2 weeks ago or so, I opened up the repository of Schema. Since I haven't really been like, didn't have too much time to work on it lately, and it feels quite bad to just sit on the code. So now it's open, and anyone can just clone the repository, open it in vvv. I've tried it in the latest version. It works fine. And inside of there, if you open like Schema preview in the Gamma folder, it will just start up Schema. You can start exploring how such an application can be done in like pure VL. It's got, you know, it's got like project management. It's got controlling of different kind of protocols, and you know, it's a like a visual programming environment of its own, built inside of another visual programming environment. And just to kind of show like what you could maybe do with that when you have access to like the insides of it, you can basically like there's a state of the whole application that you can access, and you can get out the like individual objects inside of it, which like are the various like lights or things that are controlled with Schema, and then, you know, to take things from that, and then maybe use it to drive things inside of a stride scene or inside of anything else, and you can just plug those things together. Also, Schema has some like built-in like tools for controlling lights and DMX. So you could like kind of go the other way around, and maybe you don't want to use the UI. You don't want to use the like signal generation that Schema provides, but you might want to use the layers that translate from like common kind of structures to DMX channels for different light fixtures. So you could use it that way. And yeah, let's just make this faster. And if I move this around, then it moves along in the stride scene because it's using the same data. It's like it's a very, very small taste of what could be done with this potentially. And if you run into any issues, just you know, the repo is open an issue, and maybe it can be sorted, or at least it will be noted down. Right now it's not in NuGet, So the whole thing is like, even though it's separated as, into kind of its own like little library files, and most of the nodes inside of there are like a separate patch. It's still like one monorepo, you could say. So this possibly like if people find that some parts of it are particularly useful, be it the DMX things like automatic like handling of like OSC inputs, and there's also MIDI kind of ways to create a like layout of MIDI controls so you can visualize them. So if like any of those parts are useful in like some scenario, then it can be separated out and put in a NuGet, and then everyone can kind of can be easier for anyone to use it.
Amazing. Big day for the community. Is it free? Is it open source? Are we paying you if we're using this commercially? What is the model here, Dominick?
So it's open source. I'm still keeping the license that like it's very similar to vvvv. So if you're deploying it in some commercial space and like project, then ask me to get a license, but maybe I'll just say that it's fine. I think that's kind of how it, I would see it right now. And yes, it's like it's still in some parts it's like rough around the edges, but it's been used in a whole like bunch of projects in the National Museum in Prague. It's driving like Dali lights in one of the like largest Egyptologic exhibition that's ever been there right now. It's like I've used it for a number of shows, some more interactive, some less, and we had this like I don't think it's in the gallery on the side, but this Tanzometer show that utilized like kind of modified fishing scales that were pulled by a dancer, transmitted over through OSC to Schema, and then like it was used to drive lights. Also, there was audio with that, and we kind of set up the whole show in like 2 days, 3 days from scratch, and really like using Schema gave a lot of like kind of leeway to experiment very quickly and get things going, and like have this like I like this, then you can just save the whole scene as a setup, and then you kind of continue going on. So in side of it you do have like this is kind of like your nodes that you can also connect things together, but then you also have this even more like streamlined and high level like programming, and you can kind of switch these things around really quickly. So it makes it really easy to save scenes, which in just pure vvv it's a bit more tedious to like kind of switch out patches. You have to build up your system, so these systems are built in here. And let's say you would want to make a new node. So with this with the source code, there's like inside of the VL folder, there's the blocks folder, and inside of here is like all the blocks. So there's a template that you can just use and look at it. It's there with some explanation. Let's see, and this is how the So like everything is a patch like this. Each of these blocks is one patch, and maybe you're just starting out with VL, but you kind of you don't want to do just pet projects, and you want to already integrate into something bigger. So you might just be missing this one functionality here, and it's like I think a kind of nice way to experiment in with patching, you can just patch this little thing and then put it inside of this big structure and use it. And it's like fairly, there's like just a few parts that you have to get and edit there. But yeah, if anyone's interested, just let me know and I can maybe make a tutorial like how to, make a blog, how to deal with this. But if I won't be getting any questions, then I will likely not do it because I have a fair less amount of time nowadays.
This is massive, Dominick. Thank you. It's amazing. So people out there, go and grab it while you can. This is, what are we getting out of the box here? This is light control. It talks DMX. It talks OSE. Can you maybe give us a quick feature?
So, I mean, it's been released for quite a while as a compiled executable. There is documentation. There is a Discord chat that you can go to if you're stuck. Go again to the page. Oh, I don't know why it's searching. So there's documentation. Like it's been out for a while, but you couldn't get your hand on the patches, just like that. So now that's changing. So you can look through it. Keep in mind that like I did start building it, I think more than 2 years ago. So VL was in like a different state, and some things could have been done better. And some things I would do differently. Just having experience what I did with building it. So some parts are, and also some parts are just the pure experimentation, and then you get kind of clean things like this, but then you may also get I'm really used to VS Code now, and all the shortcuts are like, they don't make sense here. You should like think of kind of putting the things together.
Am I right to think that this was the first actual application made with VL, like exported and like a proper application? I think it was the first one I knew about, at least, because this was what, two years ago maybe.
Yeah,
a year and a half or something.
I think it was like I exported like pretty much right away when that became available to export applications. There's also some like for instance the WinUtils library comes from stuff I was doing on Schema to kind of manage Windows and exported applications. There's also some extra things that may be interesting to people that I've done here to have like I'm using a custom font inside of Schema. It's JetBrains Mono. I kind of use it everywhere. And it's a bit tricky to get it working with like if you just want to have the archive and people to open it and have the font, then you have to like do a bit different things to actually load the font and just get the system font, which people would have to install. And that's not something that I wanted. I just wanted, download the thing, start the exe, and you have it running. That's it. There's also when you start it will kind of bootstrap the like configuration, the like user documents folder, and things like that. So it's really like it's like a proper application.
Amazing. So I would say, yeah, everyone out there who is interested not only in using but in learning how you can do something similar to this is a great opportunity to learn from our best and find out how it's done yourselves. This is amazing. Thank you so much. We have an amazing on the YouTube chat, and thanks coming over in a few other places. I think this is a very good day. Thank you so much, Dominick. Was there anything else you wanted to cover there?
I have one question, by the way. What happened to the what was it called, Mittwoch patch therapy? I guess you're just pretty busy, or is it still happening?
Midweek patch therapy. So what happened to it? I mean, if you go to the site, I did try to provide a little bit of explanation. What happened is that I left Prague and I moved to Israel, and kind of there was it's a big like life-changing event. I also had like I changed like my job and kind of really the scene that I'm in. So like keeping this is like currently I couldn't really keep it up. But there is the archive of whatever was there, you know, the highlights that I took out and put on YouTube. There's also some recordings that I never really gotten around to edit and put out. But again, you know, if I see that there's like demand, I don't mind doing something kind of like just ad hoc, like when people want to, but doing it like every 2 weeks, and sometimes, you know, sometimes people would come, sometimes it would be like one person and sometimes no one, and kind of like doing some preps for that. It was a bit hard to sustain sometimes, and like to kind of keep it at the quality that I wanted to kind of take the recording, then you know, edit it out. It takes about like 4 or 5 times as long as the actual like recording to just go through it, you know, cut it out at the right moments, put it up. So it like mainly a time issue there. And just quickly, I wanted to show this little small like kind of side project that I started to experiment with like audio and just like synchronizing using web technologies. So this is Square. It's like, yeah, it's again, it's squares that are, you know, very tidy. I don't know if you're getting the okay, so it's really not handling the screen sharing maybe, but if you go to, there's someone fucking around with it. And so what this is it's, I will be expanding on it, kind of making it have different rooms, and right now it's just one. What it is that whoever comes to the site like sees the same thing. It's kind of like all the setting of each of the squares is synchronized. Just yeah, the audio is really fucking up this now. Maybe it's also the fact that I have like 20 other things open. But yeah, whenever you change something, it also changes for everyone else, and it's built to kind of really like to be easy to add some little randomness to things, and like kind of polyrhythmic audio, so you can really do these soundscapes that kind of slowly evolve and change, and that's the idea, to have this like shared spaces that you know, people can just go in and do some little adjustments, and then kind of everyone will have the same atmosphere and be shared with it.
Can we jam together on it? Can 2 people be tweaking it at the same time?
Yeah, that's
the point.
So it's like it's done the synchronization principle. It's like very simple. It's just the like setup of each of them is a string, and that gets synchronized through Firebase, real-time database, which handles kind of taking like things and pushing them to everyone else that's connected, changes. And then the like audio and the actual evaluation of them is done on the client. So you're not really synchronized, like you're not streaming audio, you're not streaming you know, the just resulting values. You're just, whenever someone makes a change, it streams that change. So it's like very low amount of data, and I hope to have like more kind of like simple instruments to put there, and like more kinds of sounds and more things. It's also open source. It's here. It's built in React. Although I maybe if the performance keeps being not as good as I want to, I will try Preact, and if that's not helping, then we'll just do it vanilla. Or there's also you can do like with WebAssembly. You can just like even render UIs using Rust or low-level languages that are quite performant. There's like really a lot of things that can be done. And yeah, we can maybe after this is over, we can hop on there and jam around a bit.
Sure, let's make some noise. Sounds like a good thing. And this is not V4 related at all. This is just a side project in web technologies. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like, I mean, there is this kind of higher idea that I had already from Schema that the kind of programs that you have there, it's kind of this like domain specific language that just describes animation or just signals in time. So I would really like to see that kind of like more like to like take this structure and this runtime and put it on different platforms and like to like create more interpreters for this kind of DSL. So one is in Schema, the score thing is like it has some similar ideas, so maybe it can kind of merge at some point, and it could be also taken to be evaluated on like directly on a microcontroller. So then you maybe program your lights in Schema, then you say, okay, I like this kind of thing. Let's just send it to the device, and then you can turn off your computer. Like you don't need any media server, and it will just run on the thing offline. And yeah, there's again things like you could either hard code all of these behaviors, but it's maybe not too scalable. There's Python interpreters, so you could just put each of the functions in like a little Python snippet that would be downloaded on demand. Or you can have WASM. There's like WebAssembly interpreters that run on the ESP, and again, a lot of things.
These are endless. This is what I hear. All right, that's amazing. In the interest of time, Dom J, do you think we're ready to move on to some questions from our people, or do you have anything crucial you still wanted to show us?
No, I don't think so. No.
All right. So thank you very much. This is amazing stuff. You always keep bringing on very nice to look at things and very interesting ideas. So thank you for that. And thank you for sharing the code and making it public. I think this is great for everyone. And do we have any questions from Dom J on the Schema open source release or the Square project? Anyone? I have. Who is this? I heard something.
Hi, it's Christine. I had one question. Your Schema, do you use like a different program structure like Natan is using for his runtime editor stuff he presented?
You mean what was he doing? Like entity
runtime editor model or something?
I think that's like some of the principles are like very close to that. I didn't follow that structure exactly. I think it's like I started out creating it before this was kind of more like a best practice in VL. There's like I think less of a clear separation of what's mutable and immutable. It was more like just what was making sense, like performance wise, and like to and how to work with it. And yeah, it's like there is a runtime state for like that describes the whole application state. That's the state object, and then that is consumed by the UI. It's like a separate thing. It can run without the UI. It can run with it. Yes, like it's very stateful in many ways. It's using like.
And would you program it like different today, like this structure of it?
I would like I think I would mainly try to do is to like try to separate out the like structured in a way that it can be multi-threaded more easily and like separated from the UI and like other interfaces even more, like have more of like an action kind of like an kind of actions API that you could be just sending in some actions and the main runtime would be like reactive to that. Because right now the UI is like a bit too close to the actual structures in this state, but at the same time that like made it quite like really easy to like do this reactivity that you can see in the UI, that like everything is really representing whatever is there at that time. But yeah, it's like probably, but I would kind of have to get my like, you know, back to it and like think on it a bit more again. So I was out of the project for a couple of months, I would say.
Yeah, the Elementor team has done amazing things with performance using this strategy. I think they call it segmentation, where all the operations are separated, and that's something I think you would probably want to have a look at. But let's not get too technical here. We have kids watching, so let's. I wanted to ask you on the Schema side of things. Are you calling for dev support? Would you be interested in getting people to help out, or is it something that you don't have the time for anymore and it's just kind of at where it's at and that's where it's going to be left at?
If there's people interested in helping out, then I would be glad to kind of share some of the ideas that I had to take it further. And yeah, then like I think I can find some time for it, but I don't think I'm really able to kind of pull it myself in the with some, you know, meaningful velocity. So if there's people interested in helping out, and especially there's, you know, people that see a use for a project like that, then definitely reach out and, you know, we can do something.
All right, so there you have it. If you want to help on the development of Schema, reach out to Dom J and he'll be happy to show you around. Also, if you want to get more educational material from Schema and what it's doing, Dom J has been very kind to say that if you ask for it loud enough, he will find some time to do it. So let's just all yell out and demand this beautiful YouTube tutorials that could be eventually coming our way. Thank you so much again, Dom J. This is all amazing stuff. Thank you for showing it to us and sharing this. This is amazing.
Okay.
We have a few newcomers here on the Zoom call. We have Christine. We have vvvv Croissant, which I'm not familiar with, but welcome as well. And we have Natan Sinigaglia, the famous Dottore himself. Are you guys planning on showing us anything tonight? Christine, Natan, Croissant, Rosi. Oh, we have Rosi as well. True. Is any one of you maybe sharing something? Hello.
Hello.
I see Christine unmuted, but I don't
No, so you'd have to let me in. You can't hear me?
I hear you
We do
now,
hear
yes.
you, Kirsten.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm jumping in with different computers now.
That's great. And remember, if you're watching, you can join us on the Zoom call. Links are on the Element chat, on the blog post in the vvvv website. And you can join us just to listen or to ask questions if you want, or if you have something to show, it's an open call. So please do join us. And if you have any questions or comments or things to say for the people who have been kind enough to show us what they're doing, you can send it on YouTube or the Element chat as well. We have a bravo and an amazing for you, Dom J, just in case you wanted to hear that. Yeah. So, Christine, how are you doing? Should we wait for you?
Hold on.
This
is my phone. Hi. How are you? You see, I still have my jacket on. Just jumping. And I'm having I'm having a Aruko marker box over here, and this is an augmented reality tool for presenting. It was used for live stream to control a presentation and some stuff. And I have it running on a different computer, obviously not on my phone. So give me a second. Sorry, I was just around. Open the patch and finding the link.
While it's loading, so is this a project that you did for a commercial client, or was this just research, or what's the story?
Yeah, it was kind of commercial. They used it more for presentations and present themselves. So it's from AVMS, Liederbach. It's like a Veranstaltungstechniker, like media tech supplier, and they were presenting themselves and their tools with the tool. And where's the link for this call? I'm on the Node Institute website, whether it's on the vvvv website, isn't it?
If you go to the vvvv chat room, it's right there.
Elementor. I'm not having Elementor on this.
I can link it to you on the Zoom call chat. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Doesn't make sense. So if I'm talking with this, like I'm with my computer and with this on it. If I'm sharing my screen.
I think you might need to mute the second computer, like kill the microphone and the sound. Oh boy.
This is better, isn't it?
That's better, yes.
So, turn on the cam. Sorry for that. I'll let you wait. There's no battery in the camera. So, yeah. You're in my lovely studio in Offenbach, if you're interested.
I think we lost your phone. Oh, there you are.
Okay, here we go. Finally. So I'm sharing my screen. So you shouldn't be seeing me, my face talking in this client. Go to my screen sharing on the other computer. So do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Cool. So this is the output of this application. So I'm having cam focus. So I'm using, turn off my camera here. So yeah, this is kind of the tool. So you've seen this the thing before, like in having a Aruko marker on every side. But now you're like not seeing the Aruko marker anymore, but you're just seeing this like an overlay. And yeah, I used like a trick kind of. So I'm like the cube is touchable on the white stuff of it. So you don't see that this is actually just the overlay. So if I put my hand over it and it breaks obviously. So it's a kind of some of workaround for a tool. But like you see, I can turn it and I'm switching through a presentation. If I go backwards, I'm I can go backwards in my presentation. And the software is like just recognizing if it's a video or an image. And it's just going through folders of like, I know, yeah, and you see like it's always the top of the cube is showing which topic we are having. So this would be A-form-S. And if I go on this topic, seeing on this cube side, you would see a 3D object and you can walk around it, show it around.
Fancy.
Here we go. That's it. And you have multiple sides and you can make multiple topics to it. And that's pretty much it.
That's pretty cool. And how did you manage to get this working? What are you using under the hood?
Like OpenCV is the magic, so it's made on with your hands, isn't it? Like or integrated from you. You did basically most of the magic. It's in here. So I'm having a video in of OpenCV and it's reactive. This was better for the performance. So I'm having the video here and I made some yeah, I'm like, you see, the thing is, the trick is with the Aruko marker help patches, you get like an Aruko marker and you get the position of it. So you can make a 3D object like this on it and you know like the position and the scaling. But I made like out of 6 markers, I made like one total position of a cube. So I calculated it. In the first stage, I checked what is the biggest marker I'm seeing. So I just want to make use the translation only of one marker at a time. So I'm just calculating here the distance from the diagonally.
Yes.
Yeah, both of them. And I'm making. I just add them and I check, okay, which is the biggest one. And here is the biggest marker ID, index, position, and what do I'm using? Yeah, and the 3D objects are made in Stride, like in the game engine, like with the program. So
the game studio, you mean?
With a game studio, so yeah. So I'm loading the Stride project over here. So these are all the assets of the Stride project. Yeah, and then just included every 3D model and texture in it, because like I could get the glass texture is pretty much almost default, like from here, from the surrounding of the screen. The glass texture is a basic texture which you find in the game studio, and like with all the assets, model assets, material, I just load the assets, and yeah, there's a content loader. So I'm checking if it's an image, any of these file endings, and if it's not, it should be a video. So here I'm getting my true or false if it's video or an image, and then I'm switching it so it's can automatically check if it's video or an image. And yeah, what was tricky actually to fade out 3D objects in a 2D layer environment. So I'm having in the background, I'm having the real image video footage, and then I'm having here the screen, and I'm having here the overlays. And I want to, like, this overlay from the marker is a part of the cube, and the white stuff where I want to let free, I need to mask it out. And then, okay, this wasn't really the problem, but you see like the screen, for example, I want to fade it out and fade it in. And if I didn't, I don't know if I found the best way to do this actually, because I'm fading it. I make it to a texture. So I have multiple root scenes, making a scene texture out of it. Like here's a background texture, here's just the screen, and I'm using masks, red masks to cut them out, or here as well, and then I'm fading out the full screen quad. And I think the performance could be better if I actually managed to just say fade out a 3D model, but I'm not sure if that is possible yet. Do you have any ideas?
I don't. It sounds like a Tebian question. Maybe you can shed some light on this. No, really nice idea. Very nice project. We're getting bravo and super nice idea. When you first showed me this, I think I felt the same way. It looks simple in concept, but it's using the tools in a very intelligent way to achieve this effect. And so this is all. This you already presented this work. This was somewhere.
Yeah, it was a live stream, but we will record a video for it to just show and present it, and maybe resell it again for other streaming stuff. I mean, it's just a nice idea, like a workaround with like touchable edges, and I can go forward and backwards. Never go over your marker.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but it works surprisingly well, I would say.
But it's working fine, and it's the simple trick is just having like the transformation of the Aruku markers are just coming out of here. Here I'm selecting the which one I want to have, like which one is the best seen one, and I know which one it is, and I just turn the transformation, so I'm getting, it doesn't matter which marker I'm seeing, I'm just getting the total position of this cube. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Very sick.
Cool. Do we have any questions from our audience for Christine, or any comments? I mean, like I said, we had a super nice idea and a bravo already, but do we have anything else maybe from our panelists here? Amir, or Natan, or somebody, Sevis, any comments, any questions?
A comment would be that it's such a nice, it's very nice to see it, because I was just, I think 3 days ago, I was just trying one of the robots, and so in this tiny program that I showed I think last year already in November, the prototype that we have the models of the robot and we control them. So you could just basically hook them up with the rabbit control, and also using like one of these markers, that mine was double-sided already, only double-sided, and then controlling the content through your phone, like controlling the robot's access through your phone, and also with the position of the marker. And pretty clean. There was one thing regarding the fading, the geometry. I was not using this, I was not getting all this asset from a Stride, so I was just loading them directly into V4. And using the BPR material, it has a transparency pin. And if I'm not mistaken, I managed to get it to work. So it was just slowly fading it out and in, and it did work. But I don't know, your patch seems very complex, so I couldn't really see all the details. But maybe it would help to take a look into these BPR material stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but that looks super cool. Oh, I thought that you just want to like turn on this moving head and just light up everything.
Yeah, it looks like it's sitting right there. It's great.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, it's on the piano. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
amazing.
So you're going to use this as your presentation controller from now on.
Yeah. Every presentation like this now
needs this whole setup.
Yeah, it's a small cube and can take it everywhere. but I need a strong light or a good bright camera.
Or like you could, I think you could also maybe achieve like a very similar effect if you just, you know, the cube had a gyroscope inside of it.
Yeah.
And you would set like a starting position, and then you would be just standing that, and then you don't need the camera, you don't need anything.
Yeah, but then you don't have the position in space.
Right, you need to
If
follow.
you say, hey, I'm the presenter now, and now later you are the presenter. You need to turn it over.
Right.
That looks really cool.
Very well for like a TV show or streaming show, like having virtual props and assets in your set as well. I think it will work quite well.
Exactly. Has anybody used that for this purpose yet?
Well, Node, of course. The Node Festival did similar things, but not with markers, I don't think. This is very cool. We have 2 cool comments coming in on the YouTube. I think people loved this piece. Thank you very much, Christine. I don't know if we have any more comments and questions. That was very cool to see.
Yeah, thank you for spending your time.
Amazing. All right. Does anyone have anything more to share, say, ask, or bring to the table? Otherwise, I think we might be getting to the ending of this beautiful. Oh, I see a camera lighting up over there. Mr. Natan, welcome. We do not hear you, my dear. I don't know sign language, sadly.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just a quick one. Talking for the Fuse team, we don't have an update. We won't show anything now, but just to say that, or you noticed that we opened a new chat room related to the project, and in there we will basically update more often about the development. And there is, we called, we open, we are having a Skype call or a Zoom call this Thursday. We asked if anybody from the community is interested to join. We want to share the development with this part, at least, the development with C# coders that are interested in participating and helping with this part of the development. So later on, we'll open the call to other people to create some other things like patches or just testing. Now we are still in this development part, the core of the library, so we need to have some help from developers, C# developers. So if you are interested in this, definitely don't miss this call. It is this Thursday at 9 p.m. Very time. And yeah, that's it. The development is going great. It's just that we couldn't prepare patches for this meetup, but it's pretty promising what's coming out. So for sure there will be an update, an appealing, good-looking update next meetup with some live patches. So yeah,
that sounds great.
Cool.
And you guys are still taking in donations, yes?
Yes, good point. I should be the one. But yeah, there's a sponsorship page. If you go on the www.org store page, in there you find a dedicated page, the project, in which you can contribute even with a small fee, but every single contribution is big for us. a lot. So yeah, if you're feel free and feel happy to contribute. And yeah, then see you next week.
Amazing. All the cool kids are donating. Don't get left out. Donate now.
Yes.
Get in there.
Do it.
Yes.
Be part of the future.
Yes, indeed. We will be using this for years to come. So
exactly.
Make your contribution. Amazing news. All right. That's great. Okay. Well, it's been a lovely meetup. Oh, one small update. Well, of course, you noticed that I'm not Yorick tonight. The big guy needed some time to rest. But I believe the intention is to rotate your hosts on the upcoming meetups. So yeah, expect to see changing faces in the upcoming events. A few members of the community coming on board to help, and just to keep it fresh and interesting, you know. So also, I guess if you feel like you would like to help us host one of these meetups, please do get in touch, and we'll make it work.
One last thing.
Of course.
We have a Kairos webinar next Tuesday.
Yes.
Don't miss it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this time. Trust me.
If you want to know how to use Natan's world famous timelining and everything tool, yeah, this is the way to get it straight from the source. I'm signed up myself. I hope I can see you there.
Yeah, you find the details everywhere. There's a dedicated element room for Kairos on Node Institute. You have the page where to subscribe. So yeah, you still have 1 week. See
you there. Amir, do you maybe want to talk a little bit about?
So, no, I think you did everything. You said everything. There are a few news, and it's good that we have Dottore himself. He re-announced the Kairos workshop for those who they couldn't attend it last week. Now this is the time to get on board. It's all said about that one. The other thing is, I don't know if you have already checked the 2 new videos on vvvv TV on YouTube. One of them is a bit older, the other one newer. The one of them after the release of the official release of Stride is building a simple 3D scene in vvvv. Gamma, of course, and then the other one, which is relatively new, is newer, is called Generating a Recursive Broccoli. Have a look. They are cool, they are playful, and also something that I always say that, but I think it's never enough. As soon as you install the new version, the first thing I personally do, I go to help browser and I open all of these patches one by one. There are a lot of cool things there that I think they are not really known or not really seen as they should. Get your hands on them. The last one is I am working on the generative design algorithms workshop that it was during Note 20, but I was using Schema. So everything was 2D. So I'm rebuilding everything in 3D in Stride. So very soon we will have a webinar on generative design algorithms in using a Stride game engine. And stay tuned. You will get the news will reach you. And we are also looking forward to the next meetup in April. And I think I said everything I was supposed to say.
Amazing. And we have one last surprise presentation that just came in this very minute. Rosi, welcome. Take us through it. What are we going to see today?
Yeah, we go.
Hi, good to see you all. I think I know everyone here in the group except the croissant. I'm super curious who the croissant is, or is that a secret?
Yeah, who is the croissant? We are all very curious. You have our attention.
Well, maybe it will be revealed later. I don't know. Yeah, I basically wanted to say thanks to a few people because I just had my first exhibition with VL-driven pieces in it, 4 in some. And you might have noticed me because I was a bit panicky in the chat and posting into wrong groups like Arduino to Elementa and Elementa to some other stuff. But in the end, it worked out. We got a super cool documentation. And I want to say especially thanks to Tebian, to Sable, to Ann-Kathrin and Michi, to Sebastian Neitsch, and to you, Mr. Host, because CV was part of it as well. Yeah, thank you all so much. It's the coolest thing that, you know, I'm sitting there in a gallery and the opening is in 3 days and I can write into this Riot group and there's a solution. Like, that's, I think, a very unique thing.
And it's free.
So yeah, it's not free. It's not free. I already sold my soul to Jörg because I will make a tutorial.
Well, okay, sounds fair still.
Yeah. No, because it's quite basic. It's a photo booth connected with some buttons to Arduino. It has Elementa in it. It has photo in it. So, and also some transfer between 4 different computers and a speech interface. So like some basics that are connected. And I think that would be nice to show how that worked.
Absolutely. Yes, let's see it.
Yeah. I just defriended vvvv for tonight. But I will show some pictures, and I think we've seen so many patches. And also have to say I didn't mow the lawn yet, so the patches are quite messy.
Fair enough.
We'll just show you some quick pictures. And yeah, the most important thing I already got out. It was thanks to people who helped me on the way. Yeah, and just so you know, it's yeah, I said 4 pieces. In some it's 8. It's an exhibition in Ljubljana, just as a background info, and it's about self-optimization through playful apps and experiences. So it's like a critical reflection on how we optimize ourselves by engaging playfully with our devices. So, and you kind of you train yourself to become an artificial intelligence throughout a parkour. And and in the end you get a score of how well you did and how well you would behave if you would reach the possibility to become an artificial intelligence, which is so much more efficient and better than humans. Which score would you have, or how often would you have to redo it? So enough talking. Pictures here. I share my screen just quickly. So we lured everybody in with this propaganda picture of me as a machine. Like I wanted everybody to be a bot, and people could convince me being bots by talking to me as chatbots, for example. And here is this interface. You see, it's super simple. It's just a black screen. Where the hell is it going? Yeah, it's a screen. It has a button. It has a countdown. So it's like I learned how to use a state machine, which is super valuable knowledge. I will make a lot of state machines now. And then as soon as the picture is, so to say, in the system, you will encounter it later when it reappears on a wall with 8 other faces, which are generated by StyleGun, Runway ML. And later you are confronted with a speech interface. It's super easy and on purpose dysfunctional because everybody hates it if a speech interface doesn't work. And you have to repeat the same sentence over and over and over again. And so it's a lot of different machine interactions. And in the very end, I got the chance to also use some Elementa to generate scores. Yeah, Arduino connected. So the whole setup, quite basic, but I think as it includes many of the basics, it's a good tutorial starting. Thanks.
Oh, okay, that was great. And how did people take it? What was the, like, how did it work? Well, did it work? Did people engage with it? What was like the result?
Good question. Yeah, we had unfortunately no opening because of Corona. So it was also designed as a parkour. So you would walk. We made a kind of maze structure that you were always confronted with one interface after the other, and each interface would become less playful and more eerie and like work harder, try your best, become the AI. Like so while it's very playful and you like these apps that always give you something in return in the beginning, and in the end you just want to get out of it, and then you're confronted with the stupid frustrating voice interface that you have to repeat a stupid sentence louder and louder, and only if you do that you're allowed to pass to the next step. So yeah, and so people constantly told me that the speech interface is not working.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Not working by design, so.
Huh?
Not
Sorry.
working by design.
Yeah, exactly. That's a cool thing. I could say they are all meant to be dysfunctional. No, it was super nice because we made also this surveillance structure that it should look like even the windows were touch screen. And I worked together with a guy who was really into designing this fake infrastructure, like even 3D printing Raspberry Pi houses where there were no raspberries inside, and just making it look like everything was part of be able to be touched or surveyed. Or so it was this interesting challenge of make something look as if it was working, but it shouldn't work too well. Yeah.
Sounds like what I've been doing professionally for a long time. That's amazing. That's a great project. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and VL was the perfect choice also for setting up all the interfaces, because it was quite fast decisions. What do we do? Okay, we have these screens, we have these buttons, and you just know it will work in the end. If it was from the software side or also for the community, for both. Yeah.
We need that statement on the V4 commercial coming up in the next few months. All right. Any questions from the audience or from our panelists here for Rosi and this very cool project photo booth thingy? Anyone? Well, people said that it was cool. And maybe because there's a bit of a delay on the YouTube stream, I'll roll back a bit to make a couple of announcements. One is that Takuma Nakata, our Japanese superstar, is doing a new set of Gamma related tutorials and posting them on YouTube. So if you haven't seen those, get in there. We will try to post a link both on the YouTube chat and on the Element chat if you need it. He's very good at teaching you and showing you the ropes on basic stuff, and he gets very nice outcomes out of it. So keep an eye out for that. And somebody was asking about Amir's generative webinar. It says, where can I find the generative webinar using Schema? Been playing with it lately, could be very useful.
So if you go on Node Institute, thenodeinstitute.org, then you go to there are tabs on top, you go to course, and then there are bundles. I think what you can get is basically go to the vvvv, because there are vvvv and touches and everything. Then you go to this the Node 20 vvvv workshop bundle, and then you have access. I mean, if you once you manage to start learning, then you have access to all the workshops that happen during the Node 20 last year. So I posted also on the YouTube chat, thenodeinstitute.org. Wow.
There you have it.
Yes, there you have it.
Well, Rosi, you got a cool from Mamo Plus. So you have some fans out in the interwebs now. And I guess if we have no parting comments or things to say, this is the end of it for today. Big thanks to the Node Institute and David for providing us with the infrastructure to have this beautiful virtual meetup. And big thanks to all of our participants, of course, for showing us their great work and bringing the amazing news they've been bringing in today. And of course, thank you all for joining us from your house or wherever it is you might be. See you on the next one, which is on April, what was that, Amir, again?
I'm not sure yet, to be announced.
All right, well,
yeah,
we will be announcing it soon. Keep an eye out, and yes, prepare your patches, get ready to share your stuff, and we will be seeing you on our next meetup in April. Have a lovely evening, and goodbye. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Brandon.
Cheers.
See you next time.
thank you everyone. Ciao, ciao.